We've had another wonderful week of curriculum work in Beaufort County Schools as over 200 teachers have come together this week to really look at the new college and career ready standards that South Carolina has implemented. We've really unpacked those standards, looking at what we want students to be able to do, what we want them to know, and really took a focus on how we're going to assess students' ability through common assessments in each of our units this week. This past year, Advanced Ed visited us and validated our curriculum development work when they stated it was a powerful practice and one that could be an exemplar for other districts to look at as we seek to provide a clear and guaranteed viable curriculum. We really saw that come to fruition this week as our teachers really dug in, unpacked the standards, looked at their common assessments, their enduring understandings to see in our stage 1 what do we want students to know and be able to do, and stage 2 what evidence will we accept that in fact students are able to master those concepts. Teachers now are able to hit the ground running in August, able to plan daily lessons off our essential curriculum so that we have a clear focus on student achievement and continue to see student gains in Beaufort County schools.
Curriculum mapping is so important because you're working with essentially a document that has created your year for you, where you're paced out. Curriculum mapping is important because you're learning what those students need to know to succeed and go on to the next school year. It helps you come in as a new teacher and be successful because you've had experienced teachers who have come in and they've written this and they're giving you those tools that you need to succeed.
Curriculum mapping is important so that every teacher that teaches the same subject can get an idea of exactly how they should cover different standards and kind of make sure that all the teachers that are in the district are on the same page. We have quite a few students that transfer from one school to another, so it would be nice if we were all speaking with the same language, and that's what curriculum mapping helps us to do.
And this is my first time ever being a part of curriculum mapping, like other than this week I never even knew what it was about. I think it's pretty awesome because it gives the teacher more of a holistic view of where the district is going as far as the proper ways to assess kids and coming up with an overall plan to develop to help promote student learning.
Another benefit is really having scope and sequence nailed down. For us, it's always a concern on the 8th graders to 9th grade level, but even within the school, making sure that the skills are progressing so they're ready when they graduate to go on to college or a technical school or into the workplace or military.
I'll use this when I'm making my planning for the future so that my students can be the most successful and be learning the same things that other students are learning throughout the district.
Some resources that we're really going to take advantage of are our content area coordinators coming in to our PLCs probably at the beginning of the year, just so all the teachers in our department know that these essential maps are just that, essential, but they're not taking away from any sort of autonomy. They are the guiding factor from which we can do more work, better work, and school-specific work.
If you haven't ever been into Rubicon Atlas, that you need to open it. It is a tool that will make you successful and more importantly will make your students successful. There are tons of resources, tons of information placed there that is so important because we're more successful when we use it.
The connections that we get to make with the other teachers in the district. So we spent our entire school year working with our students on a day-to-day basis, and now we get to work with the other music teachers and bounce ideas back and forth between them.
This week has been eye-opening for me because I get a chance to work with my colleagues, and we all talk about best practices that we use in our classroom. So I'm stealing some ideas from some of them to be able to implement in my classroom.
During this week, during curriculum mapping, I've been reminded of a famous quote, and it says, if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. And so doing curriculum mapping actually helps us to plan what we plan for our students. The best part of this week for me has been speaking with my colleagues about our assessments and what we expect of our students, and we sort of challenge each other to make sure that we're staying to the standards and even go a little bit higher for our students.
Our curriculum maps are valuable planning tools that help teachers begin with the end in mind and chart a course for learning for the year. A sincere thank you to the over 200 teachers that reviewed, refined, and revised essential curriculum maps this week. It's time for the real work to begin as teachers use the curriculum maps to plan their daily lessons.